Good morning, everyone. Thank you for attending the second Q&A webinar for transitioning from Classic to Arcadia interface. My name is Claudine Ting, and I'm the marketing specialist for client success here at SmartSimple. So just to give you an idea of who's going to be presenting today, we have Madhulika Sharma, our Director for Community Support, and Eric's supposed to be here, but we also have Stephen Imbakingo who can also answer your questions about your transition to Arcadia. So just before we get started, we wanted to provide some clarification on the difference between the Classic interface and the Arcadia interface. Madhulika, would you like to give some insight on that?
Sure. So anyone whose system has been deployed in the last 2 or 3 years, everyone was actually deployed in the Arcadia interface. So if your system was launched in the last couple of years or last 3 years, I would say, you already have Arcadia interface. And this is more focused on those systems that are in Classic interface that were probably deployed when we did not have Arcadia, or it was in the beta mode at that time, so Classic interface was used to deploy those systems. So this session is more focused on those who are in the Classic interface and are now planning to switch over to Arcadia, because SmartSimple is going to be ending the support for Arcadia, or for Classic, my bad, on November 1st of this year. Yeah.
So again, just to emphasize that if you have been implemented in the past 3 years, you're definitely on Arcadia right now. Feel free to drop off the webinar because this would not be applicable for you. Okay, so this is our second Q&A webinar. We have a series of quarterly webinars to address this transition because effective November 1st, we are going to end support for the Classic interface. And as an addition, you can request personal meetings to aid with your transition.
Yeah, and Claudine, I would just like to add something here. So the support ends November 1st on all our SaaS servers. But if you're on a dedicated server or a dedicated managed server, if you're on dedicated managed server, meaning that you are on your own server, but it is managed by SmartSimple, and you're on the latest version of SmartSimple, then this date of 1st November also applies, because the Classic interface support will end on November 1st. The only one exceptional will be exception to this will be the dedicated servers, who may be currently on an older version of SmartSimple. So they can, will still continue till they get the November upgrade. So coming in the November upgrade, the Classic interface will be, the support will end, and we will only support Arcadia. So we also encourage those who are on older versions of SmartSimple, please do plan out to upgrade your platform, your system, to more the latest versions of SmartSimple, so that it's not a huge backlog of the upgrades. And come November, when you get the November upgrade, you also get transitioned over to Arcadia.
Okay, thank you for that. So just when it comes to okay, sorry, I'm just addressing some sound issues here. Hold on one second. Is it still echoing? Okay, I think we're good to go now. Okay, so feel free to ask your questions anytime during the presentation.
Yeah.
Okay, so someone wanted to clarify. If you recently purchased SmartSimple, then we already have an Arcadia interface.
That is correct.
That is correct, yes. Thank you for asking that.
Shall we see?
Yep.
All right, so what you see on your screen now is a Classic interface. So if your system is still on Classic interface, when you log in, you see this interface where you have a left navigation panel. If you're a system administrator, you get all these options on the left side. And if you're a user in a specific role, you may have select options on the left navigation panel. And the panel, the white screen where you see Welcome to SmartSimple will probably have shortcut icons. So this is a typical classic interface, slightly different in your case because it goes by role, but this is what we see when we log into a system that is still on the classic interface. Now, moving on to the next slide, what we want to show you is that when you switch to Arcadia, how do we switch to Arcadia? Now, to make it easy, what our development team has worked on since we met last time is that they have created a global switch for all the users to be converted into the Arcadia interface regardless of their roles. So how that can be done is, if you're a system administrator, you can go to the configuration section and you see where we've highlighted the global settings. So you go to the global settings, the page that you see on the right side appears, and there's a tab called Classic Options. You go to Classic Options, and we've added a checkbox there called Disable Classic Mode. What this does is, at a global level for all the users in the system, it will switch them to Arcadia. Now, so this is one option for those users who, those systems where you want to just do one switch and then bring all the users in different roles into the Arcadia mode. Now, this is advisable if you want to start testing right now. You can actually do this on your backup copies. So what we've been advising to those who have contacted us so far is that you go into your backup copy, enable this setting, and once you enable this setting, all your users will be switched over to Arcadia interface, and then you can start testing. How you plan your test is you can actually have one group of users do the testing to ensure that everything is still working as intended, and then you can have another group of users. Because it is backup, there is no risk whatsoever. All you need to do is just enable the setting in the morning, and every night, when whatever changes have been made as a part of the testing will be overwritten with the copy of the production, when the backup runs at night. So that's how you can enable at a global level for all the users. Now, in the next slide, we're going to show you how you can actually do it by role if you want to. So under the same global settings, there's a tab called Security. Under Security, there's a hyperlink for System Feature Permissions. Right there, yes. So System Feature Permissions, when you click on this, it actually brings you to the settings page, which is the System Feature Permissions, and there are 3 permissions on this page. You click on the Arcadia Permission tab, and then you get these 3 settings. Arcadia, disable switching between portals if you do not want your users to do that. So while you're doing the testing, I would not recommend you switch it on for any role. Then the next one is enable Arcadia. This will allow users to go into their profile and then just switch to the Arcadia mode. We'll show that to you in a second. We actually demonstrated that last time, but we'll again show you how this can be done. And enable switching between Arcadia and Classic while they're doing the testing. So to test between Classic and Arcadia, they can actually switch between the 2 interfaces while they're logged in. So just by clicking on their name, and then they get the option of Classic mode, and they're switched back to the Classic mode. So there are options for doing it by the role, where you can actually set it up for different roles and then have those roles tested by just switching their profile to Arcadia mode. However, as I said before, even if you do a global switch for all the users on the backup, you can have one group of users go in and do the testing. It'll be much more easier without having to worry about enabling these permissions. All right. So when you're in the Classic, and when we are switching over to Arcadia, right now, what you see is when you log in, you get to see those icons. When you click on the icon, the next image that we have there will list out all your records. And then you have a basic search panel on the right side where you currently perform your search. What will happen when you switch over to Arcadia is in the next slide. So the top portion where you have the icons will still remain the same. So any shortcuts that you may have on the Classic interface portal, they will still be carried over, they will still function. The only difference now will be that when you're in Arcadia, when you click on the case management, The second image that you see opens up the case. When you open up the case, that case will now have a different view, and that is the Arcadia view, where all your scroll bars, there's no top to bottom scrolling. All those tabs have been brought to the left side as left tabs on the left. Notes, your referral contacts, the company section, all your assessments. If there are any additional tabs, they'll be found under the More option. So you get a new left navigation on the case where you have all those items that are currently in the top to bottom scrolling available on the left side for easy access. And you get to see all the other information as in the tabbed view. Okay, so that's when you switch over to Arcadia by making any changes or designing any portal. Now, if you just, thank you, Claudine. So this is what you have in the current classic interface. And then you just switch the left navigation, the right navigation, the right side basic search is going to be an advanced search in the Arcadia interface. So I would definitely recommend do that global switch, go to your backup copy, and test it out.
I have a question here, Madhulika.
Yeah.
Can you control what appears in the left tab in Arcadia?
In the left tab in Arcadia, yes, but for that you can also design the portal so that you pick and choose what items are to appear on the left navigation portal. What we are showing you is by not doing anything at all, no portal designing, no activation of Arcadia specific portal specific to a role. When you do a basic switch, how will the system be rendered? But then you can take it further. You can design the portal. You can design the entire layout of, the home page and create different tabs. There's a lot more that can be done within the Arcadia portal when you do the designing.
And this is the reason why we're encouraging everyone to do the switch to Arcadia right away so that they can avail of the configurable features that we have within SmartSimple.
Any other questions?
All right, do we have any other questions for today?
All right, so I do want to add a couple of other points. So when you do contact us, please feel free, if you have access to community portal, and please submit tickets. And when you submit tickets around this transition from Classic to Arcadia, please add the transition to Arcadia in the subject line so that for us it is very easy then to filter out these type of tickets. And then what we do is we consolidate all of those and, we discuss this with our development team and see what more we can do. So right now, from the last time and today, the update has been that we have been able to, come up with that one switch where without having the users to take too many steps, that one single step will transition you over. So we'll continue working on those. We have received a few tickets and that we are working on, and please continue doing the testing and submit the tickets, and we'll definitely be sure to address all of these in a timely manner.
Yeah, I have a question over here, Madhulika. If you have custom coding, for example, HTML, will it be lost in the switch?
For that, there are a few custom codings that we've already tested that were not lost. We did experience, some changes, but those were minor fixes that we had to apply. So, again, all the more stress on testing it out, and do contact us. If you have a lot of custom coding, we can definitely help you look into those and, make recommendations.
Okay, so, sorry, go ahead, Steve.
So I was gonna say another recommendation is for custom coding. It's all basically for each individual system. So if you have custom coding, I've experienced with clients that if they have custom coding versus another client that has custom coding, some of the custom coding might work on one but not on the other. So to each system, we recommend is one of the system admins to go into Arcadia, run through your whole process, your whole business process from start to finish for whatever roles there are, and then test it on Arcadia to see if you run into any issues or whatnot, and then we can create a ticket and investigate it from there. Because like I said before, on one system it would work, and on another system it might not. So we definitely recommend that you run through your process and then let us know, call support or whatnot, and then if you have any questions or concerns, send us an email or create a ticket and we'll address them. But yeah, custom work is all to each and every single system.
Yeah. I have another question over here. I tried switching to Arcadia on our backup and noticed that our external user portals are blank. These portals had custom HTML coding.
Okay. So let's talk. Do contact us offline and we can look at it together. Renee?
From what system? Or okay, so yeah, so basically the issue with that is that when you change it from from Classic to Arcadia, you're going to run into blank portals because when you're switching it to Arcadia, then if there's no portals created in Arcadia, then it's going to be blank. But if you have Classic portals, then there is a way for us to look into having the old Classic portals in the Arcadia, but we don't recommend that just because there's a whole new process and a better way of creating new portals that will look and feel a lot easier for users to adapt to.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you for answering that. Again, before we wrap up today, this is your opportunity to ask us your questions. So do we have any other questions about your experience so far with transitioning to Arcadia?
And I just want to add also, while people are typing their questions,
Mm-hmm.
in our next webinar, what we will do is we will compile a list of all the issues that we heard, from the feedback that people have done so far, and will continue to do. So we'll compile a list of all the common issues that we heard about, and then what were the actions taken, and if there are any additional steps that we have taken in order to address those issues from the back end. We'll share those as well.
That's very good. Okay, so we really encourage you to send us an email with a subject like transition to Arcadia. We understand that every system is definitely it's personalized to your processes. So please send us an email and we can work on your questions offline from now until November. Thank you everyone for taking the time to attend the webinar this morning. I will be uploading this recording to our YouTube channel, so it should be on our YouTube channel by the end of the week. Thank you so much everyone and have a great rest of your day. Bye for now.